Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to answer a question that I got from one of my buddies on Instagram. I think the name was Aleska, and then some numbers. Basically, they're saying that they want to close their third eye. They're pretty confident that it's been opened up because they've watched other videos that I've made that describe the different symptoms of when your third eye is open or opening, and it's all happening for them, but they don't want to be bothered with the third eye phenomena, apparently. And they said, well, I need, well, what do I do? How do I close it? Because I have stuff going on in my life. I can't be dealing with this. It's one thing to read about seeing lights in your forehead when you close your eyes and noticing that your psychic senses are wide open, and now you can all of a sudden know when people are lying, like instantly, as well as all the other energy that it's kind of hard to explain if you haven't experienced. There's energy traveling up your spine and like into your third eye and out of it. All of that sounds pretty sweet when you read a blog post about it or listen to a YouTube video, but when it starts to happen to you when you're laying there in your bed, it can be another ball game. And so I can understand where some people would want to close it back up. It's like, okay, this is not what I want. It's a little bit too scary, a little bit too uncomfortable, a little bit too unfamiliar, a little bit too much of a time burden. So how do you close your third eye? Well, first, I'll say that the majority of this video is not going to be actually instructing you how to close it, because I'm going to do my best to talk you out of that. But how do you close it? You can close it if you want. It's real easy. You just start eating junk food and start purposely putting in artificial sweeteners in your coffee, and start drinking alcohol every night. Start treating your body like a toxic dump, like a lot of people do, and that'll muck that thing up pretty quick. But is that what you want to do? Is that what you want to do? Go back to sleep? The whole ignorance is bliss philosophy, is that your thing? I don't think so. I don't think it is, because your third eye would not have opened if you weren't actually ready for it. A lot of new positive things come into our life before we think we're ready, before we've had time to get comfortable. And it's an initial reaction to say, you know what? I don't want this. I don't want this new job that I've been dreaming about for 10 years. Now I finally got it, but now that it comes time to going into work for that first day and meeting new people and then learning all these new things that are somewhat unfamiliar, I'd rather snooze, hit snooze on my alarm and go back to sleep and escape and not have to deal with all that. But that is weak. That's not going to lead to happiness or growth or a fulfilling life at all. And you know this. I also think that changing my tone a little bit, I sympathize with what you're going through, because I went through a very similar situation. I had a Kundalini awakening, which is sort of like a third eye opening on steroids. It is a very wild, trippy, crazy, mind-blowing experience, and I didn't know what was happening to me. And in those early days, if I could have just like went back to normal and turned it all off, I would have, straight up. I know it. And I'm realizing that there's not enough support for people who are experiencing very natural, very basic, spiritual, human phenomena and experiences. It's labeled as taboo. And because there's not a high percentage of the population going through it, it's just, you can imagine where you start going through something that's totally unusual and no one else is talking about it. And if by some chance you do start to kind of express what's happening with you, the reactions you get, people will just say, well, you should go see a psychiatrist. Oh, you should be on some medication. Oh, you must be not sleeping well. Oh, you're obviously freaking losing your mind. You know, it's just like, I can understand. It's like this awakening that's going on right now on the planet that people are not ready for. And it's been kept under the rug for far too long. But now our consciousness, the real us, it's choosing to wake its ass up. And our minds are going to not really know what to make of a lot of this stuff. But as the transformation progresses, you'll find that you'll realize that all the apprehension is just because it's something new and unfamiliar, and you've yet to become properly acquainted with all this. I was just talking to a client today, and I was explaining to him how I've been having like the third eye phenomena lately. You know, for me, it kind of came intensely, and then it died down, and I don't know if it's been open the whole time, and I just don't notice it or what. But anyway, I'm getting all that stuff again. But now it's like, oh, okay. It's like nothing. It's like, oh, the wind blew and my hair moved. I don't think twice about it because I become comfortable with it. I've learned that it can't hurt you. And all the problems were just a result of my resisting something that was there, resisting what is, and my fearful definitions of what was happening. Some people say, don't open your third eye. You'll be subjected to demons. Your spirit guides are evil. You know, I hear all this crazy shit on my channel. You guys probably see some of the comments, and that's fine. That's one way to label this sort of stuff, and it's okay. It's not wrong or invalid. I believe that's very true for a lot of people, but there's a consequence to framing something in a negative, fearful way, and that is the experience of fear, the experience of physical tension, the manifestation of paranoid sort of delusions coming to play out in your actual life. And I believe with a lot of us, even people who might be struggling with this, with enough time, there will come the inevitable conclusion that I made, because I freaked out too. I'm not above it. The inevitable conclusion that this stuff is only helping me. Yeah, when I close my eyes and look at my forehead, there's lights. Fine. But there's also a feeling of space, of spaciousness. There's a feeling of connection with part of myself that I never even knew existed. Part of myself that feels more real than anything. More real than what I'm reading in the books. More real than what I'm seeing on TV. More real than touching my own flesh. Something so subtle and yet so real that now I can perceive and rest in. And it feels good. It feels peaceful. There's harmony. There's bliss sometimes. There's safety. There's no concern or worry. So on the other side of our initial reaction of fear to a lot of the new things that are being presented to us is a greater level of personal growth and self-expansion. And even though there are symptoms that come along with this expansion, they are fleeting, and in time, I believe for most of you you'll start to welcome them because you'll see them as indicative of further progress, further spiritual growth, deeper self-insight, deeper feelings of peace. A lot of people are resisting. A lot of people have that mindset of, how do I close my third eye? How do I resist the challenges being thrown into my life? How do I hide from them? How do I reclaim my sense of illusory safety that I once thought I had? And most people are doing that straight up, unfortunately. But I encourage anyone watching this to not do that. Most of you aren't. Most of you who have watched more than one of my videos aren't the people I'm referring to. So the underlying hidden message of this video is to be courageous and allow time to pass for you to become comfortable with all the changes you're going through, because you'll eventually find that it's a very positive thing if you allow it to be. So hope that helps. Have an amazing day. Talk to you soon. Peace.